Welcome to GameChanger 00100 channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell on your way in. Please wait while the host prepare the show.
Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay, this episode is not going to be as simple as saying brothers have no standards. It's not. It's way more. How can I say? Well, I shouldn't say way more, but it is a little bit more complicated than that. And that's because I want brothers to kind of change the way they perceive worth when they go overseas. Now, don't get me wrong. I do see when I travel and I see brothers with the locals. Every now and again, I see brothers with locals that that aren't as good as they could be doing, but better than they are doing. Now, I do get one of the major reasons why that is. Hit the like button. One of the major reasons that is because it's temporary. You're on vacation, and if somebody was to put you in, say, Nevada, you're on vacation, and give you a week to find the most attractive woman you can, it probably won't be the best because you are under this time constraint. Also, another reason is that you, excuse me, is that you go online to find somebody, and with modern technology, they have all this AI stuff, and they could be using it for a lot more, but instead it's used to make unattractive women look attractive. Women are taking 150 pictures and using one of them, and then when you get to the foreign country and you're like, oh, okay, I want to do this, you put in so much work. And it's not that the chicks are ugly. It's just that they are not what you expected. And since you're only going to be there for a short amount of time, it's difficult to say, you know something, I'm only going to be here for a week, but I'm going to dismiss you and find somebody hotter within that week. That's difficult to say. So you kind of just settle for what you already built traction with. So I get that. There's a number of reasons, and especially in places like the Philippines and in Thailand, women have a tendency to love bomb you, babysit you. They have a tendency to not leave, so to speak. Like they cling to you. And don't get me wrong, they want while they're with you, but they are clung to you, and the reason for that is they don't want to give you an opportunity to find somebody hotter. They know if you say, let me have a day to myself, that day will be the day that another chick stepped to you. So they're actually there guarding your penis from the rest of the population. It don't seem that way when they're there, but they do that. Austin talked about that when he was with that girl, Kay. He didn't say it directly, but what he was describing was that. I don't know if he realized that he was in that situation. He said he was saying stuff like, oh, Thai women, unlike Brazilian women, they're quick to leave their job and spend all day with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a reason for that. And the reason is they know that somebody hotter is waiting for you. And if you had time to yourself and they seen you walking around single, if they seen Austin walking around single, then that will be the end of that. So it is by design. It's easy for a brother to find himself in that predicament. And also, how can I say this? And also damn, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It's early here. It's 7:42 in the morning and it's Saturday. I shouldn't have scheduled it so early, but I wanted to get this over with so I can get on with my day today because I got a lot to do. But what was it? So I covered the fact that they're clingy, attractive. Let's see. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so even if you don't go online and look for women that way, what winds up happening is the regular women, let's call them that, are more aggressive, just like they are in the States. It's rare that I get hit on by an exceptionally beautiful woman. That is rare. Typically the times I get hit on, they're like average and some even below average. So, which is better than nothing, I guess. But so it's the same here than there. It's just that the bar is a lot higher there for average. The definition of average is a lot different. And below average is also a lot different. So what winds up happening is men, especially if you're not used to being hit on by women this attractive, or with a higher bar of average, hit the like button, they come at you really aggressively. And in Asia, they come at you with the "I like black guys," line. So, that's a thing. You get into your ego, and then that is when the cling portion begin. That is when they cling on to you. And next thing you know, you spent your whole vacation with somebody and you might have been able to do better. That is a real and unfortunate thing. And I say trust me, it's not unfortunate in the sense that you are getting a woman that you're attracted to and submits. Okay, put it like this. Say you're on a game show and they say, pick pick what's in door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. And you pick door number 2. Now, in door number 2 is a new house, or excuse me, a new car. And you like, oh yeah, new car, new car. This is beautiful. And then door number 1 is a chicken or something. But then they open door number 3, and it's like, hey, just to let you know, behind door number 3 is a brand new beach house. And you're like, wait, what? Like, yes, it's a house on the beach. That car looks a lot different at that point, knowing that you were just one number away from having that beach house. You was almost there. So that's what I want to avoid. I want to get more brothers into the beach house. And the way to do that is by not settling. Somebody said GC would pick door number 1. Listen, everybody in the States is picking door number 1. Okay, no, let me stop there. Because actually, no, there are a lot of dudes who do get favorable relationships in this country. And salute to them. Salute to them. I have in the past, and by favorable, I mean simply put, a woman who is prettier than I am handsome. So yeah, that is the case for a lot of brothers. But I'm gonna say most relationships, particularly modern relationships, aren't like that in the States. It's just not. The women are rarely prettier than the guy is handsome. So that's something that we're going to work on. However, understand that you are playing a completely different game in most overseas countries. In most non-Western overseas countries, you are playing a completely different game. And I want brothers to win because white dudes are winning more than brothers. And they're doing it for a number of reasons. One, there are a lot of white expats where brothers are going for a vacation. There are white guys that are living in these places and brothers are just visiting. So even if they are going through the process that these guys are going through, that brothers are going through, they have the ability to to wait a chick out. They have more time to weigh their options. They do. They have time to, because you pick the first girl that's with you, and next thing you know, she's giving you like 5 BJs a day, and you're like, well, I can't say no to 5 BJs a day, and you're kind of stuck with that. Every time you look like you're about to suggest, um, like, hey, I kind of want some alone time. Okay, daddy, let me just suck your penis before I go. And next thing you know, she's there another day. So that happens easily. I see why brothers find themselves in, I'm not going to say unfavored situation. I'm just going to say less favored situation. Now, what brought this up? I seen a video, another Filipina P video, where she was talking to some friends. Hold on. She was talking to some friends about foreigners. Both of these girls are sisters, and they are dating foreigners. One girl is dating a black foreigner, and another is dating a white foreigner. Now, I'm going to show you something that really jumped out to me. And it's not a huge thing, but it is something that jumped out to me. So, fair use, fair use.
Hi, folks. The Filipina P here. And today I'm going to turn the tables and talk to women who are involved in relationships with foreigners. What's it like to be with one? Why does it make us happy? And what are we actually thinking when we first meet you? This will be fun. Hi folks, the Filipina P here, and today I've got two lovely ladies as my guests. Welcome ladies to my channel.
Thank you for having us here.
All right, so let's start with you. What's your name and your age?
My name is Leia and I'm turning 23 this year.
23.
Yeah.
How about you?
My name is Ella Grace Escamilla. I'm 29 years old.
29 years old. And ladies, tell me, what is your relationship? Are you guys
We're
cousins?
sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah,
Oh, I can see that. It
Yeah.
runs in the family. The beautiful smiles.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
She's the number 5 and I'm number 7, so we got brother between us.
Okay, so how many siblings in total?
10.
10?
Our parents are very busy.
In a relationship at the moment?
Yeah, we are in relationship with a foreigner.
Oh,
Yeah.
foreigner. Okay.
Both American. Yeah.
Both American.
Her is black and mine is white.
White.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you married to your partner?
Yeah, we've been married for almost 3 years now.
Okay. Right off the bat. Yeah, somebody said it best. The 23-year-old is hotter. Is hotter by a wide margin. Now, it's not as wide as you may think, but it is wide. See, and that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm pretty sure that the guy with the 29-year-old is said that, I got myself a good deal. I got my 5 a day BJ, and this is something better, most certainly better than I probably would have got back in the States. Because you could tell by the picture that the guy was in the military, and anything manual labor related, because so many sisters want guys who don't have a 9 to 5. There was a guy who was like, there was a chick who was like, all 9 to 5 brothers are broke. So green collar jobs, I guess by her standards, are broke. So yeah, he's likely doing better looks wise with her than he would have done back in the States. Yet you gotta look behind door number 3, and I gotta say, door number 3, the white dude did get a better deal. did get a better deal. Now, it's not as much better as it seems, but no matter what, she was younger. And younger means fresher vagina. And yeah, that's that. And the white guy is older than the black guy. There's a couple of things at play here. All right, so Theo bought this, and this is what I'm going to get to. It's only because white dudes go out and get better deals. Black men don't. And that's part of it. Another major part is that black men don't know what's the best they can get. Because, okay, what we're doing, fellas, pay attention. What we're doing is we are looking for the relatively better deal. What's a relatively better deal? Relative to the deal that we got back here in the States. Now, unfortunately for black men versus white men is that black men in the States get a worse deal than white men in the States. And the primary reason for that is that black women in the States are worse than white women in the States. And when I say worse, I'm talking about worse in the way any man measures value from a woman. They are collectively of lesser value. So if we were to put this on a scale, right, from 1 to 20, and let's just say average white guy is dealing with a 4 on a scale from 1 to 20 white woman. That's what he's used to. While the average black guy is dealing with a 3. Not much of a difference there. 3 and 4, right? And then they go overseas and they both see a 12. Because the black guy is used to 3s, he's saying to himself, I got a woman who is 4 times better than the one I would have gotten in the States. Hit the like button. 3 times 4 is 12. He's saying to himself, she's 4 times better than what I would have gotten in the States. Now, the white guy who's used to getting a 4 in the States, he's looking at that 12 and saying, okay, she's 3 times better than what I would have gotten in the States. But he's hoping for that 16. That's what he's hoping for. He's hoping to get that 16. Now, for the brothers, 16, that's like 5 and some change times better. So it's relative to what you're used to in the States. And the thing is that you got to get out that mindset. You got to get out your mindset. In fact, Theo, back me up on this because you help brothers find jobs in tech. When negotiating a salary, you want to not tell them what you made at your last job. And if you have to, lie. People say, oh, no, you shouldn't lie. I'm going to be a Jew, but I'm going to lie. No. What companies do is they take what you made at your last job and pay you like, and pay you like 10% more than that. Now, it's stupid because they want to keep you. And once they realize that, you're not, and once you realize that you're not making as much as your peers and stuff like that, once you come to that realization, you're going to leave. Exactly. If you can, and this is for people who work in tech, but I think that all industries work like this. If you can, when they ask you, how much are you looking to make? Shut up. When they put it on the application, on the online form, put 0. If you can't type in open for negotiation or something like that, put 0. Never, you put yourself at an extraordinary disadvantage when you go off of when you mention how much you are looking to make, because chances are, and once I say every industry is different, but chances are they were willing to pay you more. And that's the same thing here. That's the same thing here. Don't bring your previous salary, and don't even bring that mindset. Don't even bring that mindset. Like when you go into a job interview, or excuse me, in the negotiation phase. Don't even bring the mindset of, wow, you pay so much more than my last job. Your last job, you was in college working at a gas station. No, you want to get paid what you're worth, not how much not better than what you make now. Forget about what you make now. You are trying to get paid what you work, what you're worth. Now, black men that go abroad, they are just they're thinking about Keisha. And they're thinking about and passport, you gotta get Keisha out your brain. You got to. They're thinking about Keisha. They're thinking about how much better than Keisha is. Stop. Get Keisha out your brain, just like you need to get your gas station salary out your brain if you become a doctor or something like that. Get that out of your brain. And understand that Keisha is not here. And you need to reset the bar for yourself. And that is why white dudes will find themselves with this one, and black dudes find themselves with this one. And this isn't an insult at her, especially once you hear what I'm about to play. This isn't an insult to her at all. In fact, I hate doing this. But I think she knows that her younger sister is hotter. Every woman knows that their younger sister is likely to be hotter.
We've been together for this year is 5th year.
Fifth year.
Been together, yeah.
Okay, how about you?
So she's 23. She's 23, and she just said that this year is our 5th year together. You want to know what this white dude did? This dude got her barely legal. The moment she blew out the candles on her 18th birthday cake, he said, now I got something else for you to blow. And been smashing it for 5 years. And she's been looking like this or better for each of those 5 years. Hit the like button. See, that's why people, leg falling asleep. That's why people, when they talk about salary differences and stuff between black people and white people, like, oh, white guys make the same make more at the same job than the black people do. That's because it's not racism. Well, sometimes it's cultural bias. It's cultural bias because of blackness, but it's not like racism. Like, I hate this N-word, so I'm gonna pay him less. No, it's not like that. It just comes down to they know how to negotiate. They know how to negotiate. We need to work on that. Chances are the first job you make out of college is more than what your pop makes, and it's a lot more than what you're used to, but it's a lot less than what you deserve. And they know that. And they also know that your situation is probably a lot more desperate than theirs. Because, the white kid's family got money, and, he's going to manage the family pizza empire or something like that until he finds a job in his field. So he's not as desperate. So there are things in play, and the HR bitch knows that if you can't avoid the HR chick, do it. She's the worst person possible, and she's a buffoon. Hit the like button.
You,
Not
Ella
yet.
Grace, not
I
yet.
think soon.
Coming soon. Oh, I love that. So, is he here in the Philippines?
Yeah.
You have good news?
Yeah.
Something in the oven?
I have a
So, Leia.
Okay, so she's 4 months pregnant, and that's what I was saying. So she's not actually, for what I know, like for all we know, I should say, when she's not pregnant, she could look just like her sister, like or just like a little bit different than her sister. Who knows? It's very difficult to compare a pregnant woman, a 4 month pregnant woman, to a not pregnant woman. So, yeah, there is that. So I'm saying that he got a better deal than it looks like here, because he obviously got her when she wasn't pregnant.
You've been with your husband for almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
5 years now, right? And do you guys have kids?
We had one daughter together.
One daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you thinking of, getting involved with a foreigner
I
before?
never thought.
Never thought?
Yeah, based on my English, I never thought that I could pull the 57.
Okay.
I was so young when I met Gary. I can't believe it.
So, Ella Grace, you were previously married with a
Yeah.
Filipino guy. You guys have kids
Yeah,
together.
yeah, they have-
Okay, so this chick here was married with a kid or kids up. And this one was fresh off the tree. This man was 57 years old, marched into the Philippines and got this Filipina fresh off the tree, barely legal. Somebody say he got her when he was 52. I think that she said that she was 18 when they got together, because the way she said it, she said, when I was 18, I didn't know that that my English was good enough to get a 57-year-old. So that suggests to me that he was 57 when they got, but maybe he's 57 now. Who knows? But the point is, he's old as fuck. The point is that he was old as hell, and he got himself a superb deal. And the brother got himself a deal that's better than the deal that he would have got with Keisha. Hit the like button. He got realer hair than Keisha has. He got longer hair than Keisha. He has, and she probably has a slim figure when she's not 4 months pregnant. He got the 5 BJs a day with no attitude. So no matter what, because Keisha got kids too. So no, he got a better deal, but this dude, he got like the deal of a lifetime. He got himself the deal of a lifetime.
Okay. So, are you getting an annulment?
Yeah, I processed already.
Okay, so you started the process for the annulment.
Yeah.
So you guys can get married.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us, how did you meet your American husband? How old were you at that time?
So young. So young. Super young.
Okay, so
I know, still young.
How young
I think
like
19.
18. I just turned 18 when I met Gary.
Okay, so you just turned 18 when you met Gary.
Gary was there.
She just turned 18. Like I say, she blew out them birthday candles, and he's like, I got something else for you to blow. She didn't say I was on my way to be 19. I was turning 19. Nope. She just turned 18.
because he was staying there for like Airbnb, like for 1 week, I guess, because he has a business in China, so he's back out in the country.
Okay.
So
So you met in person, not online.
online.
Oh, online. Okay. Did you use a dating app?
The Tantan apps, that's good because you can you can track if the person, how long the person, if she's close or far.
Okay.
So that's why.
So
he
there's a
was-
tracker
Yeah.
that says like how long he's been here in the country.
I don't know what the Tauntaun app is. If I'm ever in the Philippines again, I might try it. But you see how you see how eager this chick was. 18, barely legal, with legs like that, and lips like that, and she tracking you. She's tracking a 52-year-old white dude. Like, where's the dick? Where's the dick? Where's the D? Where's the D? Where's the D? How long it's been here? When it's going away? Where's that D? See, we're not used to this, black men. We're not used to this. That black dude is probably kicking himself when he met her sister. And he's seen her sister, his soon-to-be brother-in-law. And on top of everything else, this chick was married. This chick was married, or she's still married. She's okay. This is an ugly truth. When people say nagagas ain't shit, they're not just talking about black men. There are a lot of nagagas in the Philippines. I've seen them. There are a lot of them. And you can't just track somebody like you can in the States. It's not that type of party. So yes, there are women who will marry a dude and the dude will just skip town and just disappear into a population, even though he's just like in the next province over or some crap like that, or he's in the next city over. There are dudes like that. Like if you say you are a motorcycle delivery person, right? And you could do that anywhere. They do that. They do skip town on their wives. And trust me, I doubt that she's seen her quote unquote husband in years. That's why when she says she's trying to get a divorce, she has to find that dude first. So yeah, they can get in that situation. The younger sister was like, listen, on my 18th birthday, I'm going to start looking for a foreigner so I don't have to deal with this crap. The other one, hey, at least a black man, right?
Or something like that. Okay.
So he was in Malate as well, so we get connected. I saw his profile.
Oh. So were you physically attracted to him?
Attractive. He's in his age. He looks good in his age. So I add him, and he's the one who sent me a message. I can't believe he sent me a message.
So how old was he?
Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing this? She was fresh fruit. Hit the like button. She was fresh fruit, and she hit him first. And this is true because, once again, before I go places, I do go online and see if I can line up some dates, just so I know the places to go to. She hit him up first and was excited when a 52-year-old man hit her back. I repeat, an 18-year-old woman that looked like her at 18 fresh for JJ, hit up a 52-year-old man and was like, ooh, he hit me back.
when you met him?
57.
57 and you were 18.
Yeah, I just so I was old enough to be, Gary won't go to jail.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's of legal age.
Legal enough.
Yes. Okay. It's
To do
mutual.
more.
Yo, there's a mutual consent here, guys. So we're not breaking the law. Let's hear it from Grace. When did you meet your current partner?
My sister YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. Leia's got a
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and later we're gonna talk about Leia's YouTube channel.
Yes.
And you were interviewed by Leia on her channel, and then
Then he found me. Then he found my Facebook. Then he messaged me.
he messaged you.
Yeah.
Okay. How long was the dating phase before you guys met in person?
Person. I
Yeah.
think 3 months.
3 months.
3
So
months.
you were chatting for 3 months, and then
Yeah.
he came here
October.
to meet you in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So tell us the first impression.
Yeah.
Okay.
We met in
Was
the.
this your firstborn boyfriend?
Yeah, this is my first boyfriend, foreigner.
Foreigner. Okay, so
Yeah.
what was your impression?
I'm shocked when we meet in person because the face like in video call and person is very different.
Okay.
I saw him in the person. Oh, I can't believe that more handsome in person.
We're gonna put a picture over here.
Yeah, because
Picture over here.
the face.
Now, the black man is described as handsome, while the white guy is described as good looking for his age. He looks okay for his age. But yet the black man gets the superior man, and if we're just going for like looks, the better looking man got the worst of the two sisters. Negotiation, fellas. Negotiation.
It's like more chubby. Then I wanna like
Giggle?
yeah giggle.
Yeah, we love squishing things. I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. For whatever reason, and I told y'all this story before, but for those of you who didn't hear it, hit the like button. Told you the story before. For whatever reason, Filipino women like to do something strange with my face and apparently her husband's face. And I know it's well intended, but they like to play with your face the same way they like to play with babies' faces. Like what she described is a real thing. Like pinching your cheeks like you're 4 and your grandma's church sisters used to pinch your cheeks. That is a thing that they do. And I told you about the time I snapped because she kept grabbing my nose. She was like, oh, it's so cute. Let me just, and she just kept doing it. She just kept doing it. And I snapped. Now, it wasn't a major snap, but the way she recoiled was like, listen, I'm not Chris Brown. You don't have to be like that, but please stop grabbing my nose like that. First time it was cute. Second time it was like, what the hell? But you do that, like I wake up to it, like, oh, you're so cute, like grab your, what the hell? So yes, I know exactly what she's talking about. Apparently with this brother, she's pinching his cheeks. And God, that's annoying. So Filipino women, if you're listening, just, yeah.
He's more handsome in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, and he's very sweet in person.
He's very sweet in
Yeah.
person. Is he treating you like a queen?
Of course.
Because treating our men like kings. We support them.
Yeah.
We don't demonize them. We
And he's
appreciate our
very
men.
giving person.
Giving person.
Yeah.
How much is he giving you?
Giving me a baby.
Here's the big. What was the main concern? heard from other Filipinas.
Oh, and that's another thing. They do want your baby. They do want your baby a lot. I don't understand it, but I was only there 3 weeks, and they were asking, they were like, I'm clean. No, take it off, give me baby. It's like, give you baby, like I could just like leave, and because my visa is over in 3 weeks. So, like I'm not under a legal obligation to take care of it. Are you sure you want to do this? Like they really, really want that seed. It's kind of strange to me, considering that they don't have welfare and stuff like that anymore. Somebody said, "Don't kill that innocence." Yeah, I shouldn't have snapped, but I was really annoyed. Like she did that a lot. And no, it's not disrespectful because it's not their intent. I mean, disrespectful implies intent. Like they don't respect you. They just, I don't know. It's a seduction technique, or they are just really, really enamored by black guys' features the way that they're enamored by. I think that they think that black guys, even the ones in their 40s and 50s, are still cute like babies. I don't know. Or maybe they do that with white guys too. But yeah, I think that that's what, like, we all are suffering from the Webster disease. And maybe that's why they want to have a baby so much. So they can have a fresh nose to squeeze and cheeks to pinch.
They're afraid in the bedroom department because of the banana. So how true is that?
To me, yeah, that was your
I
concern.
don't have a lot of experience with guys. I only have one boyfriend. So that was my biggest fear. It's stuck in our minds. Was that the same fear for you, Ella Grace?
I'm not scared. I'm more excited.
I love it. Okay. Laban lang, girl. So you were okay. So you were excited.
Yeah.
So, girls, what do you think about people saying that you're only in a relationship with a foreigner because it's all about the money? Have you heard that accusations from
Yeah, of
your
course.
friends and families, or I mean,
Yeah.
people around you?
Even relatives, they all
Even
say
relatives?
That, yeah, there are some that would say that. I
Really?
think it is because of the jealousy. So
Yeah. Were you experiencing something?
Yeah. Yes, I have experience.
It's because only money. It's not really the case because there's always, like physical attraction, love, right?
it's a win-win-win. I think our husband is rich because they have a Filipino wife. We taking care of them
Right.
and we love them. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go out, like for instance, you're going out and shopping, do you get the stares? Do you experience some women or some people here judging you because you're married to a foreigner?
I think it depends on the city. Here in Dumaguete, there has a lot of. It's kind of normal. But if you're going to our province, like in Bacolod, it doesn't matter.
It's not. Oh, it depends on the place.
Yeah, it
Okay.
depends on the place. Here, it's normal. Not much.
Okay.
Yeah, they are
Especially here.
yeah, in
yeah.
Cantonese. When
Okay.
we go to the grocery store, some people like this looking up and down.
Looking up and down.
Yeah.
Even some people will take a picture, right?
Yeah.
Do you get people asking Gary to take photos with
When
him?
we go to our province,
To the
it's like
province.
Yeah, that is the thing. You will feel something like a basketball player if you're a 6 foot guy, which I am. You will feel like that in the Philippines. You will feel like in fact, kids will ask you, Mister, are you a basketball player? They do that. And I say yes, because I like lying to kids. But yeah, these they do ask if you're a basketball player, and women and girls do ask to take your picture randomly. I mean, maybe it's annoying, maybe who knows, but they do just want to take their picture with you for Facebook or Instagram or whatnot, and they post it for whatever reason. They yeah, they like, hey, can I take your picture? And they're happy, and I oblige them. I don't really care. So yeah, that is a thing. And so her walking with her white dude, people will ask to take his picture, and they probably just keep her there as a courtesy. JM, you say I'm talking about it now. I'm talking about my travel experience now. Yeah, salute to art, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now, brother. Hit the like button.
Out of nowhere. It's
Yeah.
very small city.
Okay.
It's not even a city.
Okay.
So people are not.
They're not used to
They're not
seeing.
used to foreigners.
Ladies, do you feel like you're stealing their men? Do you feel sometimes that you're stealing?
No, the
their...
men come in here. We don't go there and steal it. They come in here.
right?
Yeah.
We come here to find
The
them.
men are coming here.
If you're good, why they come in here?
So it's not true like we're just getting there.
They just stay shooting back at American women. I love it. She just said, if you're good, why is your man coming here? If you're so good, it's not stealing when they're coming here.
Their leftovers because they said we like their leftover man because they don't want their men, and yet they're mad that we're dating their men. So I don't know where actually it boggles the mind really.
Well, we don't see the foreigners have here leftover.
Yeah. Why do you think your husband, chose you?
I think in general it's because we value our men, Filipina do. And we taking care of them. Well, that's you said like we love to taking care of our kids, feed them, and cook. We love that. That's one of our hobbies.
Yeah. Okay, so they're not really rejects. I don't know why they call their men rejects. That's kind of
That's so
insulting.
mean.
Yeah, that's so mean.
They're just maybe angry.
Maybe.
Dang, they just stay shooting. She just stays shooting at because it's difficult for them to understand. It is. It's difficult for them to understand. Kind of for them. I want you to picture like an extremely rich, like Mr. Burns McDuck type rich person. And every year, this person throws away their car so that they can get the next, the newer model. And they just like drive the car to somewhere and put the pink slip on it, and they say, here you go. And you're looking like, hey, wait a minute, this is a 2022 Maserati. This is a slightly used 2022 Maserati. Like, what's going on here? That is the way Filipino women are looking at the situation. They're like, wait a minute, this is a good guy. Yeah, he's a lot older than me, but this is a nice deal. And they know this because, let's face it, I said it and I said it before, and Filipino men, if it don't apply, let it fly. But in your home country, y'all have a lot of nagagas there. Her husband, the one in the middle, her current husband, is a nagaga. So this 52-year-old man is an extraordinary upgrade. And they like, wait, this is your leftovers? It's like on that B movie where Jerry Seinfeld was a bee, that Disney movie. and they was eating the crumbs off of the food, and he was like, this isn't even food. This is what falls off of food. So these chicks are like, listen, reject these men all you want to. I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
And generally, we're not mean people here.
Yeah.
I think we, as you said, we value your men. That's why they're. I think that's why they're coming here. What do you think? Your partner came over here instead of looking for a wife in the West.
The same thing.
The same thing. They're
Yeah.
looking for good wives.
Yeah. Because before he told me also that's like the woman there is different, the Filipina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the wife here like stay in the house,
Okay.
never go like disco or what else.
Yeah, we don't go to
and
clubs.
Yeah,
and-
I don't know how they call
and
it.
give the
Girls out.
time for them.
Yeah, do you do girls' night out?
I don't do that.
I
I have
never.
a kid. So that's
Yeah.
my responsibility. I just
This chick is 23 years old talking about I don't do girls' night out. This chick is 23 years old talking about I don't do girls' night out. There's no girls' night out. There's no hot girl summer. There's none of that. These chicks are trying to get into wife mode ASAP at 18, not 48. These chicks know that 40 is not the new 20. 20 is going to be your only 20. Let's be clear. 20 is going to be your only 20. This chick is so unfamiliar with clubs, she called it a disco. A disco. Disco is before I was born. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. A disco? She has no idea what stuff is. That is how much she don't go out. So better. See, both these women is better than Keisha and Becky. Because Becky is problematic too. Like Girls Gone Wild is Becky. Slut Walking is Becky. What's her name? Amy Schumer is Becky. Roseanne Barr is Becky. So they have their set of problems. Becky is nowhere near as bad as Keisha. But it's still not as good as this. So black dude, he came and he's like, okay, she has some kids, but this chick, you're never gonna catch her at the disco. Okay, so that's just what they call all the clubs. So, but they don't speak Spanish. But yeah, nevertheless, I get it. That's just what they call clubs. The point is that she won't be in them. Who's that one guy? That guy whose girlfriend publicly complained about the penis, and then she decided to take a girls' trip. You think these chicks are taking girls' trips? That is some crazy crap. Hit the like button. They are not taking girls' trips or having disco nights. They are at home.
to be
Yeah, because that's what they do. They just want to go out with the girls. They gotta go for girls' night out, dancing in the club. It's not really a good thing, especially if you're a mom, if you're married. But
Yeah.
them, I'm not saying all, but that's what they want to do there. They want to party.
These chicks will faint. These chicks will faint if they found out about Tia Mowry. If she knew about Tia Mowry, she would go into labor right now, 4 months in. It would be like it would be a 5-month premature baby born right now. If they realize just the extent of crap that her husband is avoiding. If she found out that in America, rich and famous women say stuff like, I graduated to divorce, and then hop online and start thirst trapping niggas. She would just be like, what in the world is wrong with it's way beyond going to the disco. That concept, to most chicks like this, that concept is just ridiculous to them. Hit the like button. It's just ridiculous. It's like, wait a minute. You have a house, a huge house, a handsome husband, beautiful kids, and you divorced, and you're in your 40s shaking it online. As stupid as that sounds to you, and it sounds pretty stupid to us, and to everybody who's smarter than Tia Mowry, which is a lot of people, to them that is just like ridiculous. That is just unfathomable. So this chick here is leagues better than the Tia Mowrys of the world. And that's what the brother was saying. However, he did not realize, because he was so relieved that he escaped, he was surviving Tia Mowry. After surviving Tia Mowry, he was so happy that he got this. He wasn't even thinking about waiting for this at 18.
Party with the friends.
Yeah, still party. So most likely Filipinos we don't do that. We take care of our house.
Yeah, parking. It's not really our thing, as Filipino. I think it's disrespectful for our husband to go.
I know, right? Like they're wearing skimpy
Yeah.
clothes,
There's
and
a
then
lot of another men there.
yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you want other men's attention if you have your husbands
Yeah,
and your
you're
Yeah.
the man.
yeah? But I don't understand either. You and Gary have a daughter together now, right? So how old is she?
3.
This is what she looks like after a baby popped out of her.
3. Okay. Are you planning to have more kids in the future?
I think no more, because Gary he said, in his age he's 60.
Okay.
I mean, for me it's okay because I have more energy. I'm still young. I
So he's 60 now, which means that he was 57, was like around the age when they got together.
can do
More
it. But I
Can
think
do, still can do.
still can do.
three
He
more.
can make, but it's hard to taking care. Chasing kids everywhere. I feel bad for him seeing him chasing Gracie. It's
Okay.
yeah.
So if it were you still have the energy to do
I don't.
it.
Yeah, I don't mind if we're not gonna have any more. I don't mind.
Okay. Are you guys planning to go to the US, or do you want to stay and live here in the Philippines?
Well, actually, me, I prefer to stay here.
Stay here in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah, me too. I love Philippines.
Okay.
I was talking to a chick last night. All right. I actually had a date. I went and seen that Creed movie, so I couldn't talk online last night for too long. But by the way, check out the Creed movie. Don't get the bootleg. Support the brother. Michael B. Jordan, acted and directed. Ryan Coogler from the town. Salute to him. But yeah, so seen the movie, gave him a couple ticket sales, and good movie. Prior to that, I was on a panel and a chick was talking about using you for a green card. These chicks are not trying to leave their country. They are not trying to leave their home country. That's far from, yeah. Nah, it's not that type of party. Because they're not into that Sex in the City lifestyle, which is all that awaits them here.
So there you go, guys. It's not like all about the green card or something. It's not like we wanna go to the promised land. We are just happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Now,
I think
Filipina.
visit is okay. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
visit,
like
visit.
visit there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have planning like stay living there.
No, why not? Why?
Mm,
I think it's more expensive.
yeah, more expensive there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the weather here. It's not
Yeah.
that we always have sunshine. You guys are living in Bacolod, right?
Yeah, we stay in the mountain.
In near the
Yeah.
mountain. Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah.
It's air.
Yes.
So
Yes,
live
beautiful.
there.
Yeah, I love stay there
Okay.
because the air very fresh, vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is he staying here for good now? Is he retired to
Yeah,
staying here?
My boyfriend also very young.
Yeah. How old is he?
43.
Partner. 43.
Next month 44.
Okay.
Okay. So the white guy is older by a significant amount. The white guy has like 20 years on the black dude. He has like 20 years on the black dude. First of all, she called 43 young. She's in her 20s. She called 43 young. Fellas, you go to this country and you are a young black man in your 40s to them. You are like the greatest catch ever. Oh, and they're gonna try to pull some crap, and I'm gonna explain that in the hold on. Let me go check for cash apps because I know I had one yesterday that I didn't call out from my last show. So I'll be right back. Give me 30 seconds. All right, I'm back. So one of the things, had a cab driver try to pull a fast one on me, right? And he was like, okay, you're handsome and you're rich, but you're a black guy, and the women here don't like black guys, right? And then he was like, but my sister-in-law, she loved black guys. And then he he showed me a picture of his sister-in-law on his phone. It was some old fat bitch, right? And I was like, no, she's too old and she's too fat. Not really he's like, yes, but you black men, they don't like. I was like, listen, I just assume that mess with any of these chicks in your country if they're racist like that, but don't try to pawn me up. This chick is old and fat. What's your wife look like? He pissed me off. I actually got out the cab and I paid him like $6. I didn't even stay for the whole journey. It's getting on my nerves with crap like that. So they do try to pull that fast one. Try to make it seem like you're at a deficit. Like his sister-in-law is the only chick that'll mess with a black. No. This chick here is not thinking about like what race the dude was. He's 60 years old. He was 57 when they met. She is not thinking like that. And neither was she. You are not at a deficit or anything like that. It's not that type of party at all. But back to the 43 being young thing. She was like, she just said 43 is young. Hit the like button. I remember in my 20s calling B2K young niggas. Because when they came out, they were the new young kids on the block. Remember Nick Cannon? They were the young ones, even though he was in his 20s too. They have a completely different definition of young there. If you in your 30s, Well, obviously, I have a different definition of young because she's out pinching 43-year-old men's cheeks and stuff. It's weird. They're okay. Here's the thing. They even with their own, they do date older. They do date older because they're attracted to stability. So you do see like male pattern baldness guys, with women who look like they're in their early 20s, pregnant. Like you do, and this is amongst their own. Like you do see that quite often. Like dudes be looking like Filipino George Costanza and stuff, and they be having the young ones with them. So I guess relative to that, and black men tend to age different. This man has like a 43-year-old baby face to her. She pinching cheeks and stuff like, oh, you're so cute. Look at your 43-year-old cute face. Like, what the hell? And they pick at your face. Now they do other stuff too that is uniquely them. She's gonna talk about it in this video. And I'm gonna co-sign. And she's also gonna say, do American women do that? But no, they do a lot of stuff that is uniquely them. And it's not necessarily bad, it's just different.
Being in a relationship with a foreigner, what can you advise? What should they watch out for to avoid scams in general?
I think it is, taking time is really important. There are some foreigners that would rush things, especially like in dating. That there are some foreigners that get scammed by Filipina because they rush things. Like it's really important to get to know your Filipina first.
Right. Don't rush. Don't fall for the first Filipina you meet in the airport. So look around. It's okay to be true.
Those words are true. Don't rush. I'm willing to bet that, the black dude had a heightened sense of urgency over the white dude that met her. Because the black dude met her in a YouTube chat room. He met her in a YouTube chat room. And here's why that's significantly different. Because if you meet him on the dating site, then they'll flood your inbox and you have an idea of what's available to you. And once you start getting a couple of 18-year-olds in there, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Once you start getting a couple 18 no kids in there, you start like, oh, okay. You start getting the idea. So, yeah.
See here to get to know the person.
Yeah.
So, don't rush. Don't marry them right away.
Yeah, it takes time to find a good one.
Yeah, it
good
takes
Filipina.
time.
I think if foreigner looking for a good Filipina, I think province is the best one to go.
Right.
Yeah. City is more on the, like bar. It's not a good place. Like, place that you
don't meet Filipinas at the bar because I think that's the
Yeah.
wrong kind of people.
There's a play.
Yeah.
Province is the best way.
Province. Pretend that you're a foreign guy. How would you approach a Filipina for the very first time? Would you say just hi? I think you're cute. Can we have?
She's about to put him up on game.
Can I have your number? So call me maybe.
Yeah, I think that's how it is. Like, I don't be like, Filipina doesn't like to be like aggressive in a way. I think just say hi, ask your number. I think that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Not
Or
that
I am rich. I got this big amount of money. Yeah, Filipina that would turn us off, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially genuine Filipino. We don't want you talking about how much money you have because
Yeah.
I think you're just attracting.
Yeah, be humble.
Okay. So I'm not going to say the whole story, but I did cold approach a few times in the Philippines. Actually, one girl, and this isn't me saying that Oriental people look the same. But I will say that I did approach the same girl twice, not knowing that I was doing that until I got her number. So, I approached her, and then she was like, my name is blah blah blah. And I waited a bit to call her, and then I approached her again, and she gave me her number again, and it was the same number. It was already in my phone. So yeah, that happened. Another one, she didn't really approach, but she did make it clear that she was interested. And so yeah, that happened. But yeah, oh, and another one, she was the massage girl. So yeah, I didn't want to approach her because I thought that she might be like a double as a prostitute. But she was eager for me to approach. And then I found out later that no, it's not that type of party. She's not a prostitute. Because I was telling a story to another brother there, and he's like, she's not a prostitute. That's just how they. That's just how they. So what her thing was she was making it apparent. She was young. She was like 23, just like this girl here is, and she was talking sad because she did this thing on the massage table with her thumbs. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, you got a boyfriend? And she was like, no. And I said, well, with thumbs like that, it won't be long before you do get a boyfriend. Because she really gave good massages. And I was like, whoever her dude is going to be happy, that she got this particular skill set. And then she just went on to say that, she hadn't had a boyfriend in 3 years, and stuff like that. So, the way she was talking and looking, she wanted me to approach, but I wanted to keep it professional. I did hit on her, but I didn't like follow through or anything like that because she gave good massages, and I didn't want to like mess things up. Okay, notice, and I think Austin was talking about this last night. In the Philippines, they want relationships. Hookup culture don't exist. Like, yeah, hookup culture just don't exist. Now that is a bad thing, especially for somebody like Austin, who's looking to hook up. Hookup culture don't exist, just like kicking in the disco and stuff. That's true. It don't really exist. There's prostitutes, and then there are women who are looking to get married, and there isn't much in between that. No matter how physically attracted they are to you, they're not just going to let you smash for the sake of, they want some D. They're not really vibing on that level. So, so if you are that type of dude that's looking for hookups and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then the only way to do it is to sell them on relationships and then just pump and dump on some stuff like that. Now, because I'm not mode 1, but I'm not that kind of cold. I'm not that type of cold. I'm not so, when the massage chick who was cute was coming at me like that, I'm like, she want a boyfriend, and I'm not looking to be her boyfriend. I'm here on a visa. I'm not looking for all that. So, I just didn't pursue in that way. Nagone said even some of the prostitutes want to get married. Yeah, they do. I don't know how it is abroad, but I think it's probably the same. There's a real reason that you don't make a hoe into a housewife. And the fundamental reason and it really boils down to not really their body count. Because I talked to a prostitute there, and it doesn't seem like, well, I'll explain that in a moment. But um, the fundamental reason why is because the mindset that a woman has to be in order to be a prostitute. Once you start putting a price on sexual acts, and there it's $40, just like when I interviewed the girls in the Dominican. So once you start putting a price on it, it has to it has to be in the back of their mind when they are sleeping with you. Like, say you get into a relationship there with a former prostitute, right? And I don't know, I'm saying there because I don't know how much it costs here. But and say you sleep with them like 3 times a day, right? You just full of energy 3 times a day, and you get head 4 times a day, right? She can't help but to add that up. She can't help but to think that if I was working, I would get $120 a day for doing what I'm doing with you. And I get the feeling that they feel old after that. Also, you're dealing with somebody who's experienced at manipulating and using men. Now, another thing about the prostitutes there, I was talking to one of them. And, okay, so some context. And y'all know I liked when I was there. I like to play with prostitutes. I like to make them race each other. I like to make them arm wrestle and stuff like that. And yeah, I do like to. So much like the strip clubs here, you can sit with them and order them drinks, and like lady drinks. I would drink a Sprite. Sprite was like maybe like 50 cents or something like that. And so I'm drinking a bottle of Sprite. She get her Sprite, and she get her cut of the Sprite that I buy for her. Maybe the Sprite that I get for myself. And I was talking, and she could have been lying, but cute girl. She said that, yeah, she's a prostitute. Obviously, she's in a go-go bar. And I assume that they get picked up like 2-3 times a night. But no, they get picked up like once every 3 months, or at least she did. At least that's what she claims. She get picked up like once every 3 months. And I was like, wait, so why do they keep you if you're not making the money? And so they have a salary, which is like $1 and some change a day. And that's how much the owner pays them to, shake their ass on the thing and entice people to come in and buy drinks and stuff like that. And most of them live off of that. So they're not getting ran through like a street prostitute who, if you don't fuck, you don't eat. So it's an interesting dynamic, just to say that. Yeah, I got a feeling that it was BS. She was blowing smoke. But nevertheless, with that business model, I do assume that perhaps they don't want to get picked up. Like if they're content with their salary.
Yeah,
Be
be humble. Well, Ali Grace, what advice can you give Filipinas out there who are planning to have a relationship with a foreigner?
Because they are responsible.
Go for it because they're responsible.
Yeah.
Okay, they're sweet and
Yeah,
caring
sweet and caring and very long.
and very long.
Patience.
Leo, what advice can you give?
Of course, the time, because foreigner likes to be always on time. So
Yeah,
yeah.
use Filipino time because they don't like that. Okay, so you're in a large age gap relationship, right? So do you guys talk about what would happen in the future if he's gone?
Yeah.
I know it's uncomfortable. It makes you uncomfortable, right? Us Filipinos in general, even me, just thinking about it, I just want to cry or something. So how do you guys talk about that? You know, plans in the future, and just making sure that you guys are gonna be okay once it's gone.
He's more the one who wants to talk about it. But me, I don't like. It's sensitive for me.
Okay.
So when as soon as he mentioned that, I said, "Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear about it," something like that. But we do have,
You guys have planned it, just to be
of course.
yeah. Leia, tell us about your channel.
Lately I've been focusing more about family videos.
Childhood videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Filipina being married to American, living in the Philippines. And also I travel, going places.
Okay.
Okay, so she's one of those people that, like, look at my white husband, and they have a daughter, and she's, showing off the daughter and stuff. She's one of those people. So Pablo says something interesting. And well, Charles says something interesting on the cover. He says, the modern educated woman thinks exactly like a pro. She believes her normal housework is unpaid labor. Yeah. Yeah, they do try to sell off standard wifely functions. So yeah, it's yeah. Very true statement. Pablo says, you think about prostitution the same. You think about prostitution the same in a place where it's legal. It just doesn't look or function the same as here in the U.S. Absolutely, absolutely. Here's the thing, and it's not really a matter of legal or not legal, even though I'm pretty sure that's a factor. Because an attractive woman can very easily make money here, educated or not, and not even as sex workers. There's so many jobs that are easy and they'll pay you for it just for being pretty here. If you are out on the corner sucking penis, it's because something is up with you. And that thing makes you unrelationship worthy. Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. And those of you, when you were young and you had attractive girlfriends, know exactly what I'm talking about. They always get jobs in the service industry where they are highly visible. Like, think about, what is a hostess? How difficult is a hostess job? So you have a restaurant, and then you have the girl that stands at a podium in front of the restaurant, and her job is to not actually get you the food, but her job is to say how many people are in your party and walk you to the table. Now she's hired because she's the face of the bar. Just like a receptionist, when you walk into a company, the person at the desk there, a receptionist is the face of the company. It's the first thing you see, the first person you see when you walk in. So you want that to be a pretty face. There are tech recruiters. There are tech recruiters, and I know this, has me how I know, headhunters and stuff that are just drop dead gorgeous. I'm assuming that that's because it makes guys like me want to work with them more. Now, it doesn't. It falls short with me individually, but I can see the logic behind it. There are so many jobs like that here in the States to where an attractive young lady really don't have to sell ass like that. So I got to assume that the women who are selling ass are either unattracted, drug addicted, or have mental and psychological disorders that prevents them from working standard hostess jobs. All of those things are bad. All of those things are really, really, really bad. And that's how I picture the prostitutes here. There, it's not, it is feasible for a woman to be both attractive and struggling to find work. It is reasonable to assume that. So yeah, I do understand that prostitution is different there than here. I don't think it's just a legal thing. Now, I will say, in fact, later on this year would be my first time going to an Asian country where it's not legal. I'm not going to say which country, but I will say that I do like knowing that it's legal. And I do like knowing that they know that it's legal. And here's the reason. Here's the reason. These chicks are not playing. If you ask both of these sisters, was there a 90-day rule? Did you make them wait? No. First night, they are getting down to business. They are getting down to business the first night. Sometimes they'll even do that before the first date. And that's because they understand, like, listen, I know that you got $40. I'm not going to try to wait you out and hope that you get thirsty so I can so I can dictate my terms to you. That's not an option, because you can go out and get it at any given time. At any given time that you want to. You could go out and legally get it from somebody hotter. So I'm just going to saturate you with it, So it does change the mentality of the women that you're dating, I think. So I do like having it legal for that reason. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if they're hiring beautiful women in recruiting and things like if you have the choice to be a recruiter and you choose to be a prostitute, then that really says something about your mentals. Like, it does. And I'm not cool with stuff like that. I'm not, like, somebody who I would just assume keep them at a distance in my life. And then, the fact that it's illegal is just, adds to that.
So it's like a family channel or
Yeah,
something.
family channel.
Okay, so your kids are also there in on your videos. Oh, okay, that's so cute. So, do you talk about budget here in the Philippines?
Yeah,
Like,
I
how
mean-
much is like a typical household? How much you guys spend? You talk about it there too, because I know a lot of guys were like thinking, so how much should I need to retire here in the Philippines if I have a family?
Well, about 100,000 pesos. I think because it depends. We're renting a house. I did a video about it, like our budget. Yeah, 100,000 pesos
A month.
Yeah.
Okay. So for 2,000 US dollars, you can live comfortably here. How much is your rent? Sorry, if you don't mind me asking.
20,000.
20,000
pesos.
Okay, so that's about
That's
400
$400
US dollars
Yeah.
a month.
Okay, think about that. So $2,000 budget, and that's not just the rent. $400 of that is rent. 1,600 is the other stuff, the cable and electricity and food and So basically, it's a $2,000 a month everything budget. Everything. So for $24,000 a year. Now here, $24,000, you broke and dusty. You are broke and dusty. There, you are smashing a barely legal 18-year-old, getting her pregnant, and taking care of that kid with that $24,000 a year. Now, in some businesses, 24,000 is not even a salary. And trust me, I know his brothers from all different economic branches. And, there's Henry's here who, if you're not there, you're going to get there. But to some people here in this chat room, $24,000, not only is it not a salary, it is the difference between two salaries. So you have company A, and then you have company B, and company B will say, I'll give you an extra $24,000, if you come over to company B. And then you tell company A, and company A will say, okay, I'll match it. I'll give you an extra $24,000. So what does that mean? That means that for the price of your raise, depending on where you're at in life, but no matter what, but for the price of your raise, you get a whole Filipino family. You get a whole barely legal, only got, only got smashed once. Yeah, exactly, computer geek. That's rent. That's rent. Not New York rent. That is rent for some people. But that's everything there. That's the whole family there.
Rent, and that's good for a family.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal. Well, ladies, I really enjoyed our chit chat for today. Thank you so much for coming over and being on my channel. And guys, if you wanna check out Leia's channel, we're gonna be putting the link here for Leia's channel. Follow her and her adventure, her family's adventure on her YouTube channel. How about you, Ella Grace? Are you planning to have your own YouTube channel?
No.
No. Okay, sure. Needs to focus on this one.
Yeah.
Focus on this one. Yeah. Thank you I so know. much for having us here. I really appreciate it. Thank you again, Leia. It's very interesting to know the perspective of other Filipinas who are in a relationship with a foreigner.
Yes.
Well, best of luck to your marriage and your upcoming baby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And for you guys out there, you know the drill. I'll be back in 3 more days with something fresh for you to consider. So stay tuned because this next episode, is something you won't want to miss. So, bye for now.
Okay, ladies, are we all clear? Pretend to be caring, loving, loyal women, but only as long as it's absolutely necessary to get that ring on your finger.
But Miss B, we really do love our husbands.
Oh, come on. How can you love some dusty old reject? Ladies, you're losing frame. Your ultimate goal is to secure that green card and escape to the promised land.
But Miss B, we like it here.
No, you don't. How could you possibly like it here? You want to live in an advanced country where you won't be desperate and starving, and they teach you things like how to speak English.
But we're not starving, we're just not rich.
Exactly. You're not rich. And how are you going to get rich unless you monkey branch as often as possible? Keep talking like that. And the next thing you know, you'll end up cooking and cleaning.
But that's what we like to do to show our love.
Why do I even bother? You don't even seem concerned about the evils of systemic patriarchy or the damaging effects of gender inequality. If you don't stand up for yourselves and make your voices heard, you're going to end up with a house full of kids. Cats are much nicer anyway, and they don't pry all the time. Ladies, where do you think you're going? I haven't dismissed you yet. Filipinas, they just don't get it.
All right. So, yeah. That's Filipina P. Subscribe to her if you haven't already. There's that. Here, I got one more, but I'll put the link out there while I do it. So... yeah, here we go. Pablo. Same mind, Pablo.
What's going on, GC?
Nothing much.
So,
Go for it.
The level. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta. All right. Yeah, I had to mute and turn off that other window I had open there. But yeah, GC, the prostitution thing. I think a lot of people in the U.S. and I tell guys this that travel before, who have not before. You kind of have to leave certain aspects of your westernized American mindset behind. Not your morals, but your judgments.
Agree.
And here's why. So the stigma against prostitution in some Southeast Asian countries and in Latin America is somewhat similar to the stigma against quote unquote single mothers in the US, meaning it ain't very much. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that it wasn't. So you're telling me that the women don't stigmatize guys who buy prostitutes?
no, not to the degree that you, not only the men but the women either, because of the economics and the prevalence of opportunities that you say, there's a large percent, not all, just like not all people here believe quote unquote being an unwed mother is okay. There's, swaths of us who think that it is generally a bad thing for society.
Mhm.
But there is a also large swath here that thinks, oh, let's have a baby shower. Keisha's pregnant, right? And Daquan, we don't need him. So it's similar to that. So you can't kind of come with your American mindset in a place where it's kind of like that, or it's kind of like places where now marijuana is legal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It used to be, oh my God, he's got a joint. He has a doobie. Lock him up, right? Not anymore. It's just like, especially in California. I know they walk around smoking one, probably in a public park.
No, they don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, it might get to it at that point. I mean, and I'm surprised, but no, the worst I seen was I smelt it in a car at a 7-Eleven and the cops drove up. But like, do they just go out doing it in front of kids? No, not yet. Right. Society hasn't gotten that comfortable with it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like it is accepted and acceptable in certain places.
Mm-hmm. And
so the stigma of a working girl in Medellin, and not only that, but the conditions and the condition of the women are totally different. In somewhere like Colombia or Thailand, the girl might have a family, a functional, decent family of good, decent people who aren't like abusive and crazy. In the US, if a woman is a prostitute, she's probably on Skid Row, she's walking the street, she's drug addicted, all of that other stuff. There, it's just a job. It's a job. Now, I'm not saying it's just a job like being in a bookkeeping or working in a store, but those jobs are hard to come by for them. So it's a job that people say, okay, we understand, but they don't. Oh, you a hoe! It's not like that.
Well, isn't that like a bad thing that it's not like that?
I don't think so. No.
Because okay, so I tell you about like I say, one of the conversations I had with one of the girls in the Philippines, right? Who was pregnant at the time I was speaking to her, but just wasn't showing, right? And we was talking. She was telling me how it works. So when she has her kids, her mother will take care of her kids. So the grandmother will be a de facto mother in to her kids. And then when she comes of age, her kids will grow up and also work the bars. Of course, the girls will work the bars. The boys will find work elsewhere.
Right. And take care of, yeah.
Yeah. And she will take care of those kids. And that will be her first chance being a mother. And it does seem like an extremely vicious cycle. She's told me that she sold her virginity, like she lost her virginity at that particular bar that she was working in.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if I could.
Is it any worse? Is it any worse than 5 or 6 generations of baby mamas on welfare living in public housing?
No, I think that they're both bad. I think that
Okay.
they're both extremely bad. It's
So-
just that one of them has a choice and the other one has less opportunity. So I actually feel that the welfare person is worse morally because they're choosing this. You know,
Right.
they're actually turning down promotions and jobs just to maintain this
Right.
particular lifestyle.
And so that is why I don't view the former, the girl in Parqueyeras and Medellin at the club. I don't put the same stigma on her that I do on Keisha.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you can't.
That's why they say, oh, you know.
Well, no, a person's character is a sum of their choices, and a person's choices is a sum of their options. Here, this is the land of opportunity. You have many options, and you chose welfare mom. There aren't many options for a lowborn woman, and you know, especially if her mother was a bar girl. So, yeah, no, I'm just saying she just had a very normalized view of it. It was kind of off putting, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because again, it is. It is as normal as Keisha is to us. Yo, Keisha, oh, that's Keisha at at the line with her food stamps. What? It's with her EBT card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't think nothing of it.
Well,
Keisha got to pull out her EBT card. You think of it, but you don't, but not really.
I do think something of it. Like, not the EBT card, but I don't like those WIC vouchers because they hold up the line.
Yeah, that's what we think. I'm like, damn, girl, can they hear? And yeah, they got to go through all that shit, and you know.
Yeah, they fill out an application to buy some damn milk. That pissed me off.
Yeah, so it's the same. Well, kind of the viewpoint that the locals have of that as you have with Keisha at the line with her stamps, with her WIC card.
Well, like I say, like I think that it heightens the sense of urgency. Like when you're dating a regular Filipina, they know that they can't use sex as a leveraging tool. And that's because you can get it legally anytime you want to if you have $40 in your pocket. And most Americans do have $40 in their pocket. Yeah. And
that was it. That was it for me.
Okay, well, I want to share something if you want to stay by.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
All right. So I seen this one this morning while I was loading the other one. I thought it was interesting, so I shared it with you all.
No sound.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you got to check that little box.
Yeah, I always forget that.
Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And if you come to the Philippines, one of the first things you're gonna notice that will astound and confuse you is all the ordinary looking guys with beautiful women. The minute you step off the plane, you're likely to see men that wouldn't get a rating of 3 in your country, arm in arm with women who could easily appear on the cover of a men's magazine, or even in the center pages, if you know what I mean. Now, your first thought is probably going to be the one you've been programmed to have all your life, that there's only one possible reason why this is happening, and it ain't about love. Right off the bat, you assume it must be the case that the men are just buying these women. What else could possibly account for the mismatch in looks? Well, that's because you're assuming there is a mismatch. But today I'm going to turn your world upside down by showing you that we Filipinas often think we're the lucky ones. Yes, really. It all has to do with perceptions of beauty and what you see as a beautiful woman, see our planet. Partner here, and as I reveal, the curse of the hot Filipina. You know the old saying that if you want to keep a woman, marry an ugly one. Well, that might be today's.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there for a second. So far she's basically saying that beauty standards are different there, and you will get a better deal. So basically, it seems like you can get like an 8 for the price of a 4 because the scale is a lot different.
Yes. And have you seen the one where she talks about what Filipinas prefer in men?
No, I didn't. What did she say in particular?
I got to share that one with you. Well, you know how you hear in these spaces all the time, you need to get in the gym. You need to get swole. You need to pump some weights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Filipinas are not really attracted to muscular guys, overly muscular guys. They like a man with just a normal, slim, height, weight, proportionate physique.
Dad bods.
Yes, with a look. She even said with a little tummy in the middle.
Yeah, actually, I think I did see that one.
Yeah,
I think I did see that. Like some of them were for it or against it, but none of them was demanding rippling 6-packs or some crap like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Well, she actually said that they're a little bit afraid of those guys because they're so small and petite. They fear that if this person ever did, quote unquote, get violent with them, that it would be bad for them. Because of course in their country they don't have that women are protected, but not to the same degree. Protected by laws against assault and stuff like that, but not to the same degree as it is here in the United States. You can't just call the police and say, he hit me, and then they, haul him away. But in any case, they said that they had a certain fear of a guy who is like, big and large and overly muscular.
Yeah, I hear that in the States too. Like when women say that they're not into muscle guys, typically, and I'll even ask them, like, were you ever in an abusive relationships? And they say, yeah, you know. So yeah, that is a thing. Like, I'm not gonna say that is commonplace, but I'm pretty sure that that has something to do with it, you know. Yeah. Let me play a little bit more because I only seen like the first 5 minutes of this, but it was something here that I thought needed to be discussed.
In the Philippines, it often just doesn't apply because there's a huge difference in what we consider beautiful. Now, I've mentioned this phenomenon before, but I can tell by a lot of the recent comments that some of you new guys just aren't getting it yet. And it's a really important thing to understand. So I'm gonna explain it in detail and show you how it can either work in your favor or totally bite you in the butt. The fact is, we don't see our looks the way you do, and so our SMV, or sexual market value, is totally different from what it would be in the West, and yours is completely upside down too. Here in the Philippines, you guys become exotic looking, and your appearance is gonna get graded on a completely different curve from the one you're used to. You get extra points here, and in the eyes of Western men, some Filipinas get extra points that we're not used to too. The thing you guys have trouble digesting is that many of the Filipinos you think are insanely hot are actually the ugly ducklings in the eyes of the local guys. I mentioned that fact during my last video when I told you that Filipino men generally won't give me the time of day. I appreciate all you folks that commented positively about my looks, but it's really one of those eye of the beholder things. So, how can it be that two guys can look at the exact same woman and one of them sees a 10 and one of them sees a 2? Well, it's actually really simple. Local Filipinos are attracted to fair skinned women who have a little meat on their bones. So, for them, a thick woman isn't a deal breaker.
All right. They out their damn minds. The local men are out their damn minds. I mean, it is good to know. I actually didn't know that when I was there. I knew that about the white skin, and that's just because everything had skin whitener in it. Everything that touched a woman's skin has skin whitener in it. But I didn't know that they like them thick.
Yeah, I
They
didn't know
can have
that.
that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they can have that. So they're basically saying that she's skinny, and that's why she's not that hot. Yeah, I guess they can keep that crap, and probably because the bars and stuff aren't really for um the bars and stuff aren't really for their own. They're not for the local Filipino population. So but I didn't really see the thick girls getting play in the bars. So, oh, and that's another thing. That's another thing about dealing with prostitutes. And I know it's different there than here, but you don't get that certain sense of naivete that you get with a province girl or a regular girl because they're used to foreigners. They're hip to them. They're up on game and stuff. So, they're cultured a lot different to where a province girl, you're like, oh, you're 43 and here, let me grab your nose. You get like stuff like that,
Right. More personal attention.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, you're so exotic. Look at your skin and stuff, like, to where, the bar girls or something like that, they like, yeah, I just sucked 3 black dicks last week. Like, it's no big deal. Like, so yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's better there than here, but still. H&M, what's on your mind?
I get it. I know exactly what you mean.
H&M, what's on your mind?
I didn't trick off all my life, GC.
Oh no, I get you.
What's up, GameChanger?
Nothing much, brother.
Wow. Oh, I just wanted to just wanted to tune in and take a look at this lovely Philippine talking about how things are different in her country compared to out here in the West. And I found it hard to believe that they're not into muscular, athletic men because you know how that narrative is being pushed in the West. I find that kind of hard to believe.
I'm gonna let you hear it from her mouth, not mine. All right, I'm gonna pull up the video. I'm gonna drop it in the private chat here and let you hear them say it. It was a group of them, not just one.
Okay.
Western men, on the other hand, tend to like tan, slender women, even the really skinny ones that are often rejected by the local guys.
True.
A lot of questions about how Filipino men regard foreigners who come here to find a mate. And you're always surprised when I tell you that most of them don't mind because they're different Filipinas. They're hunting for bear and you're out for beaver. You're not really encroaching on each other's territory and everyone's happy, especially the beavers. Many of you guys have also asked me why your Filipino girlfriends or even wives just can't see how beautiful they are, even when you tell them over and over. Well, that's because once again, you're looking at things from your own perspective, which is completely natural, but you gotta understand the way we see it. Many of us grew up in a world where people looked down on us for our appearance and called us housekeepers or katulong, or they said we were from the mountains, galing sa bundok, just because we were too skinny or our skin was too dark. We knew we were never going to win any beauty pageants and we'd probably be the last ones asked to the prom. Because when it comes to looks, everyone knows who's on the bottom of the barrel in their own culture. And little dark Filipinas are no different. And you decade.
Now, I'm gonna give a disclaimer that she don't give. And it doesn't apply to half black Filipinas. What she just say really applies to full Filipinas who happen to be darker skinned, not half black Filipinas. I have my speculations on why, but I did date a half black Filipina there, and that dark rule making you ugly didn't really apply to her. there was some stigma. She told me about it. I thought it was kind of funny. She told me that there was some things revolved around her. There were assumptions about her because she was half Black that weren't necessarily true. But the like that works against tan Filipinas, not half Black Filipinas, for whatever strange reason. Now, the thing that she told me was that Filipino women assume that she's taller than she is just because she's half Black. Don't know why that is. They just know Black people are taller, so they see that she's Black and they assume that she's taller. In fact, even when they standing right next to her, they tell her to get in the back on the picture because she's taller, but she's not taller. But they just have that perception of Black people. So yeah, it's one of those weird things.
Hearing the same thing, you start to believe it. And when you look in the mirror, that's what you see. It's only natural to judge your own looks by the society you live in. Doesn't everyone do that? So it shouldn't be surprising when along comes the foreigner telling us we're gorgeous and we think you're either blind or just feeding us a load of pig manure. Of course, we don't believe you at first. And sometimes we never do believe you because in our world, we're the rejects. So why is it so hard to believe that the opposite is true too? You might think you're not much to look at, but we don't see it the same way. To us, you're the exotic, attractive ones, even if you have some extra mileage on you. I recently did a video where I asked Filipinas what kind of body they like on a man. And you guys were shocked to find out that many of us prefer the dad bod with a little padding around the middle. In fact, I think about 80% of the women I asked said they thought love handles were cute. Compare that to what a group of modern Western women would say about what kind of men they're attracted to. And I think it's pretty clear that our standards are just different than yours. Also, generally speaking, women aren't as fixated on looks to begin with. Of course, look at a guy. You are. Visuals. That's
Now, that's interesting. And I did notice that when I was there. Like I say, even amongst their own, the guys tend to be older and they were leagues, less handsome than the women were pretty. So yeah, that is a thing. Looks aren't as important there as it is here. Now, that works against you in the sense that, and this is very strange, the women there, especially if you're a Black guy, well, I'm assuming that, from what I've seen, the Black dudes were more handsome. So they will compliment your looks, but it's an empty compliment. Like here in the States, is if a woman makes it apparent that she's physically attracted to you, then that's the step along the way to the panties dropping. There it's just a compliment, like nice shoes. Like it doesn't guarantee that they'll have sex with you. Or it's not even like a step in that direction. It's just like, you're a handsome man, but I don't fuck just because a man is handsome. It doesn't, of course, being handsome is never going to really work against you, but it doesn't really work for you as much. So prepare for that, guys.
Okay, I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Now, she said that as a Philippine, she's not into buff, muscular men. Okay, then what do you do if you already have a muscular body? Do you just stop going to the gym and try to lose the weight? I don't get it. So I guess
she's it don't work against you. Like, like even if they find your physique unappealing or appealing, it's not going to work against you. And there, it doesn't work against you. It's just not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What she was saying,
So
What she was saying is basically this: is that their women are not gonna go goo goo gaga because you got some muscles.
correct.
Exactly.
So it's not a feature that they're attuned to be like, oh man, he's got a six pack. No, she's not saying it's going to repulse anyone or make you lose someone that might be interested, but it doesn't do what you think it does there that it might do here.
Okay,
Exactly.
so it's basically not a physical requirement just to get at the Philippine women compared to out here in the West where you must have a buff body just so she can feel
It's
attracted to
not
you
like
and
So
stay.
she could notice you. Yeah.
it's not like Keisha in the hood with a 24-inch waist and a 42-inch behind. It doesn't help you in that way. You get it?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Seems like Filipinas and foreigners are a perfect match. I know it's gonna take a while to sink in, and you're probably wondering what the catch is. But that's exactly how we feel when one of you foreigners chooses us and tells us how gorgeous we are. We don't believe you. We think we must be the luckiest woman on earth to have somehow caught the eye of an attractive, worldly man. And as you might have noticed, we're often terrified you're going to one day and realize that you could have a much hotter woman than us, which can explain the ridiculous amount of mate guarding that goes on here, and how a gorgeous young Filipina can throw a fit when her much older, out of shape Western boyfriend even looks at another woman, even just on TV or in YouTube videos. I've talked to guys who literally have to watch my videos in private when they're not around to avoid a nuclear explosion. Now, you might think that's just the actions of a desperately poor woman that's afraid to lose a meal ticket. But you see the same behavior all over the place, regardless of the status of the woman involved. It's silly, it's annoying, but that's just the way it is here. And it shows once again that in our eyes, you are the prize. So, why am I making this? Well, not only do I want to explain what's going on with the couples you're going to see here, but I also want to protect you from something. Because as great as it is for you in the Philippines, it can be equally disastrous for you back in the West. And a lot of you are putting yourself.
Okay. So my takeaway from that is don't measure yourself. And this goes back to the brother who probably got shortchanged. He was measuring himself. He measured his value through the lens of the West. You know, like he was seeing himself as a person whose job doesn't have like much status, and that's unfortunate because the people who defend our country deserves better, but that is what it is. He looks at himself as that, as well as somebody who put on some pounds, in the military. Apparently, he's looking at himself as that, while his woman was like, oh, and he's in his 40s, you know. And since we have a country with like boy bands and and things like that, that's considered old. You're twice the age of the ones that are in the boy bands. So he's looking at himself through that lens, and she's looking at him like, oh my God, look at this guy. Look at his cheeks are so chubby, and I just want to pinch his cheeks, So if his face cheeks are chubby, then chances are other parts of his body is too. But she don't care. She's like, she's just like ecstatic. She is ecstatic to be with this dude, and he might have been able to do better, but he didn't know his worth. He was measuring himself through the American lens, just like her, just like they do. So keep that in mind. Like, shop around. Shop around. There's likely a better deal out there. That 18-year-old that's too skinny and too tan, but you look at a slim tan chick and you're like, "Ooh, damn, she gorgeous," and the other dudes are just looking at her like she's yeah, that is your league, that is your niche, so to speak. So be wary of that, fellas. Also, and I think that this is advice better given to Austin. I think he could have did better than Kate, but I do think that she was like guarding her mate, just like P was talking about, to where he got there, she was his tour guide, and she never left because she knew that the moment she stepped away to use the bathroom, there'll be like another hotter chick in his lap. So she basically, and they were living together and stuff. She basically did not give. No, I'm not saying that she wasn't cute. I'm just saying that he probably could have did better. But you know, she stayed. She clung to him and didn't give him an opportunity to explore. You know, he lived with her everywhere, every little step I take, she will be there. You know, so yeah, that's how that works. So be wary of that. I mean, take it or leave it. If you're happy with the person, and he was, then that's fine. But they're doing that for a reason, and that is they don't give you an opportunity to explore. They don't want you to have that opportunity to explore.
I get emails almost every day from guys who say, I met this wonderful woman online and we've been dating for a while. I don't really know how you date online because in my world, going on a date means actually being together, physically. But oh well. And these guys want to bring the girl back to the West and marry them there. Or maybe they've been to the Philippines once or twice and they feel like they know the girl well enough to take her back home. And all I can say is no, 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 no. Didn't your mom teach you not to run with scissors, not to stick a fork in a toaster, and not to bring a strange Filipina back to the West? Well, if she didn't, she should have. Because if you expose a gorgeous, young, naive woman to Western culture without taking the necessary precautions, you're flirting with disaster.
Okay.
I've heard that before. Yep.
I have, but I will say this disclaimer. If you are going to do that, Filipina is your best bet. If you have to bring in a foreign woman to the States, Filipina is the best that I've seen. And here's what I mean when I say the best that I've seen. They
How's that
are
different
the,
from any other?
huh?
No, I was gonna say, okay, so how is that different from any other woman from another country? Elaborate, please.
Okay, loyalty. Their sense of loyalty exceeds those from women from any other country that I've seen, especially Latin women or Slavic women. You know, and this isn't just like as a black guy I'm talking. This is as any guy who does something like that. You know, and I do hear the horror stories. You know, this Russian bitch did this Brazilian bitch did that. I hear those stories. I rarely, if ever, hear that about Filipino women.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
You know, so if you have to do that, that is the best bet. And I'm not saying it's, I'm not saying that it's a good bet. I'm saying it's the best bet. That's what I'll say. I mean, like these guys these white guys who are married to, like they're quote unquote mail order brides or whatever, for years, those be Filipinas. And these like half Filipina chicks that you see, grown now, these half black Filipina chicks, ask them if their parents are still married. So yeah, that is a thing. Like I wouldn't recommend anybody do that, but I will say that is your best bet if you're gonna do it.
I would dare say
over like a hotter Brazilian chick.
I would dare say probably well over half of the quote unquote Blasian girls that you see in the U.S. come from a Filipino mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the father's probably likely with that mother. I used to have a boss who was crippled and he had a white wife prior to the woman he was with. And he did it so long ago that when he tried to get her through, customs and immigration and stuff, and they ask you questions to determine if the relationship is legit. So he pulled out all of these letters. These were handwritten letters. This relationship is so old, and he was like, okay, let me check. And once the guy seen that they've been writing each other back and forth for years, he was like, nah, forget it. You passed. That's it. Right. And they had like a 20-year-old daughter and stuff, and they were together, and she was way prettier than this man is handsome. She could have got here and monkey branched and did better. She didn't. And yeah, so they're your best bet. But now, notice, and this is with a woman from any country, if she is ridiculously more attractive than you are handsome, she's going to realize that pretty quickly here. She's going to realize that pretty quickly, and you're a fool, basically. I'm just say it like that. And I'm not saying you're a fool for doing that. I'm saying that it's like, really you're gonna take this girl to a Warriors game, and then she's like, you used to be tall, but then you took her to a Warriors game. You used to be rich, but then you took her to a Warriors game. You used to be handsome, but then you took her to a Warriors game. And she is in their league. So yeah, be mindful of stuff like that too. Because I knew a guy, oh God, this guy looked like a white dude. He looked like Ron Jeremy. This nigga looked like Ron Jeremy. And I was working at a call center, and he was a supervisor there. And he got like $1 an hour more than I did, right? She had to be like either an 8.9 or a 9.3, anywhere between that. And that was his girl, but she was working there with him. And I didn't even know that they were together. And then come to find out they were together and married. And I was like, dang, she is way prettier than this nigga is handsome. And I was so young, I didn't even know the concept of like foreign brides. I thought she was just born in the US, like most Slavic people, but in California. And but then somebody told me the whole story. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's why they're together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She could do way better. She could do way better in this call center. Like, I would definitely snatch her from that nigga. And I know I look better than that nigga. And even though I make just $1 less, but you got her working around better looking dudes and stuff like that, making the same money that nigga, that was a recipe for disaster. She left that trailer park, Ron Jeremy looking nigga so quick. It's like, what you doing? Like, you need, like, even if you're making like $13 an hour of like early 2000 money, you don't be that dude. That's all I'm saying. Like, you had this extreme advantage, and you wanted more. You wanted to become a 50-52 income family. So you got her a job where you worked at. That was just, do you realize how fucking slimy you look, nigga? Yeah. Anyway, let me continue.
I have a video on this subject that explains why that's a bad idea. So if the thought even crosses your mind, please watch it before you make a potentially catastrophic mistake. The problem is, once you take a pretty Filipina back to your home country and release her into the population there, she's gonna find out real fast that she's the hot commodity now. Things have flipped. She's gotta get hit on constantly. From the guy behind the counter at the 7-Eleven to the immigration attorney that she has to deal with. Every guy she runs across is gonna be chatting her up, making excuses to be around her, and making her offers that are hard to refuse. I know.
These words are true. What she's saying is facts. That's why if you do that, then like, and you put her to work, I mean, you want to limit her exposure to guys hitting on her. And putting her to work is works against that goal. Also, if they have a community where you are, then that's pretty much the end of it. That is pretty much the end of it. For example, if you live in New York, New Jersey, and you get yourself a Dominican bonita, then that's it. That's it. They are already a part of that local community, and you aren't. You know, there's a lot of Dominicans, and there aren't many here, but that's it. They're part of that local community. You know, you increase your odds of this happening tremendously.
Because the same thing happened to me when I went to the UK. I went from being a woman who didn't even get looked at to a woman that men didn't stop looking at. And if your Filipina's not mature enough to handle all the attention, she might end up seeing her situation with you in a less favorable light. If your relationship isn't properly grounded by already standing the test of time, at least for a couple years in the Philippines, then you're playing Russian roulette with your future and your finances. Now, does that mean you can never bring your Filipina home to the West? That a Filipino will just jump ship as soon as she sees a hotter prospect? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But you want to be darn sure in every way it's possible to be darn sure that you're both in it for the same reasons. Because if you take a gorgeous 24-year-old you barely know that doesn't have any experience in the real world and thrust her into a new life where every man she meets is telling her she's a beauty queen, you might just end up feeling the curse of the hot Filipina. Well, that's it for this episode, and I'll be back on Friday with yet another interesting interview that you won't want to miss. Till then, folks. It sounded like he's here on a hunting trip because he said he was just looking for beaver. I told him we don't have beavers here, but he just laughed and said, "Oh, yes, you have lots of nice ones." So then I asked him what he wanted the beavers for, and apparently he's into taxidermy because he said he's here to stuff as many beavers as he can. Now, I don't care if a guy's got a hobby, but I don't think he's gonna find what he's looking for. I told him if I had a beaver, he was welcome to stuff it, but obviously I couldn't help him in that department. So then he gets this weird look on his face, calls me a ladyboy, and storms off. I guess I just don't understand foreigners the way I thought I did. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's not her funniest closing. All right, so y'all thoughts on that?
One of the things that draw me so much to international travel and dealing with ladies abroad was, man, American women just they're uptight, man. They're like uptight as shit, man. Like you can't crack jokes. You see how she, went into the beaver jokes and shit. Like that's not like just on the camera. Like they do that shit like all the time. You can clown and drink and crack jokes, and nobody's like, "Oh my God, you offended me! Clutch my pearl."
Oh, I see what you're saying. The hyper liberalism and
yeah.
Exactly. If a woman feels offended by anything, then the man is often just like that, ostracized and criticized. So the women here are just too damn sensitive for their own damn good.
And I don't even think that they're genuinely offended. I think that they feel that they are supposed to be offended.
Like, yeah, because I mean, how do you build a relationship with someone who's, even if you're pretending to be offended, why are we wasting time on frivolities like that? That doesn't make sense to me. Why not just go ahead and enjoy your life, and see what happens rather than trying to assess every goddamn thing that's happening. I don't understand that life perspective. I don't get it. Now, I'm not a crazy risk taker, but I'm not going to like unnecessarily, create barriers where there need not be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you pick your battles, and far too many local women want to fight. So, yeah. But see, me, Pablo, I'm funny enough to where I have comedic license. And I've had it all my life. I've always been a funny man. Class clown, all that kind of stuff. So I get away with saying the stuff that people generally don't get to say, and that's because I'm a funny motherfucker.
Yeah, you give zero fucks, GC. That's why I like coming over here. I think you you taught Dave Chappelle how to not like give too many fucks.
Exactly. So in my interactions with American women, I use my comedic license to say and get away with that. But I do understand that that we do live in an ultra sensitive society and shit like that, and it does work against men. Basically, there is no template. There's no right thing to say. There's just a series of wrong things to say. So,
right.
Yeah, that is a thing. But it does seem, and this goes into what I was saying last night. By the way, James W is the person. He didn't send it this. He didn't send a Cash App or Super Chat this stream, but he sent it the last stream, and I didn't call it because I had my phone with me, or I didn't have my phone like in front of me when it happened. But thanks a lot if you're there, James W. So yeah, but no, it's a return on investment. Like if you're funny, you get what you get here, but that particular skill set will take you further in other places. If you are fit, that skill set will take you further in other places, not the Philippines, but in other places than it will here.
If you want to take advantage of being physically fit, Brazil and Colombia are the place for you.
Absolutely. Especially if you are a guy who likes to dress well.
Define dress well.
If you're a guy who has an eye for fashion, likes to wear nice clothes. If you're not a jeans and t-shirt or shorts and flip-flops guy, then that skill set will work to your advantage in Colombia and Brazil. Yeah. Also,
Latinas love well-dressed men. Like if Kevin Samuels would have just like dropped in Medellin, it would have been a wrap. They chase him down the street, literally.
Yeah, and last but not least, if you in Latin America, and these are things that don't really work for you in Asia. They don't really help much. If you can dance the local dance, if you could pick up on the local dance quickly, then that's it. You got the physique, you got the clothes, you got the dance moves. That is it. You slaying.
Correct. Because I have literally heard people, women and men alike, say that out here in the West, women would not give a man in a suit and tie the time of day, which I think is nonsense because they complain about the dudes who don't know how to dress properly. Pants hanging off your ass, your shirt, your hair is unkept, stupid stuff like that. But here's a well-dressed individual and you still getting on your high horse talking about he's a square.
Yeah. Oh no, they would not. Most of the world wouldn't call Michael B. Jordan square or corny or nothing like that. That's a very weird thing. I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna say that, then I'm gonna go to Bernard's. But adult supervision says someone was lying to the children. Yeah, shit, I lie to the kids all the time. What do you think Santa Claus is? I mean, like, yeah, I lie to kids all the time. Fuck's wrong with you? I tell kids that I met the Ninja Turtles in person. What, you tell them the truth? Why do you just like take away from their fantasies and stuff like that. Yeah, I do it all the time. And if they say, "Mister, are you a basketball player?" I say, "Why, yes, I am." Because I like making kids' day. I like saying, so they can say, "Yeah, I met a basketball player today." Well, wait, you just tell them no. Is Santa Claus real? No. And then what? You just go and tell them that your mama give you the money for the tooth, and then she throw the tooth in the garbage can. Like, what's wrong with you? People be taking truth telling like it's the ultimate in moral stuff. No, sometimes it is decent to just lie, especially to kids.
Yeah, but these are kids we're talking about. Their minds are not developed like an adult is. So you may have to indulge them a little bit from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. Like why not feed into their imaginations? Make them happy. Like, give them a story to tell. I don't get that. Like, oh, I lie to kids. What the hell? Everybody does that. That's part of, that's part of the fun of doing stuff. I remember my dad told me that what did he tell me? That the week, and I just learned in school that the week began with Sunday. And he's like, nah, son, it begins with Monday. I was like, no, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then Sunday again. Like he would do that. Like, that's just what people do. But yeah, I don't get that. Adult supervision, you miss me on that. But what do I want to say? What was you saying before, Hassan Musser, so I could get my train of thought back?
Excuse me?
What did you say before I went into that whole line of kids thing?
Shoot, I forgot what I was. Oh, damn, I didn't forget what I was going to say, but did I say anything before we brought that up?
Yeah, no, I forget, but let me see. We were talking about Filipinas versus Latin women, but no matter.
Oh yeah, I was just saying how well, you already answered the question from, but you said out here in the West they don't want to date no man in a suit or whatever. They think he's a cornball, he's lame, and all this kind of stuff. But they complain about the guys walking around dressing like gangster slobs or whatever, thugged out slobs. But you already answered that question for me.
Oh no, this is what it was. I was gonna talk about Michael B. Jordan. Now, Michael B. Jordan is has always been more attractive to non-Black women. In fact, he only became attractive to Black women when he started taking roles as Brothers from California. You see, they didn't like him when he was playing a Baltimore brother, a Baltimore young man, or a Kansas City young man. Like in his other white movies and stuff, sisters weren't really feeling him. But I do know that white girls was feeling him. How do I know? Because he played a role. He played the role of Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four, which is a role typically reserved for not only a white guy, a handsome white guy, because Johnny Storm is the ladies' man of the Fantastic Four. And because he's the sister to Sue Storm, means that they had to do some manipulation of the script to get a Black kid to play Johnny Storm, because he's the brother of a white chick, a pure white chick. So I was like, when I seen him in that role, I was like, wow, white women must really find this guy sexy, because they forced him into the Johnny Storm role. So that's always been the case. Now, once he started taking California roles, because the ladies love us California dudes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So once he took his first role and he played an Oakland dude, then that's when the Black women really started feeling him. Once he came out in Fruitvale Station and Killmonger, who's also from Oakland, and Creed, who's from Los Angeles, You know, like once he started doing that, then that's when the black women started looking at him. I noticed that, but white women, they was feeling him before the Super Saiyan muscles and shit.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because I guess the white women don't require. I mean, they require something, but their standards are not too over the top and unrealistic.
Yeah, it does seem as though black women want more of what white women want. And that is more muscles, more of this, more of that. So yeah, that is a thing. All right, but I'm gonna head over to Bernard Riley. Y'all got final thoughts?
All right, man. Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to be, like I said, I call it super Negro syndrome. You got to be a super Negro. You got to leap tall buildings in a single bound. You got to have a wallet like Jeff Bezos. You got to have, dick like Jack Slayer. You got to have, personality of, Richard Pryor or somebody. You got to, yeah, you got to knock out all spaces or all categories, or you just a lame ass nigga.
Yeah, true. Responding to the chat, I think that the street dude era is pretty much done. Outside of if the street yields like large sums of money. Thanks a lot, Pablo, for coming up. I think that era is done. H&M, your thoughts?
Well, that was interesting. The Philippine girl, she made some good points. Where she comes from, the standards are just different compared to what we have out here in the West. I mean, I can already imagine, women shaming her, talking about, oh, men go to you because they can't measure up to women in the West. Men are just going to go to y'all because they desperate. They can't find nobody. They can't meet our standards as far as what we want in a man. I call bullshit on that because women out here in the West have standards that are just too damn unrealistic. Even if they met a guy that can reach these standards, he's going to get sick of them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, even if you can meet the average modern woman's standards, at some point or another, you're going to find out she is just not wifey qualified. She's not someone that you can take seriously. She's just someone you can just have fun with because she has no sense of traditionalism whatsoever. You can change up, but that don't mean she gonna change up. It's like
True.
we have to be traditional, but they don't have to be traditional. So it ain't about can you measure up. So I say go where you're appreciated and go where you're appreciated and not stay where you're tolerated. To each his own. That's my final thoughts.
Valued and respected. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. All right. Well, thanks a lot, brother. Okay. So
Take care.
You too. All right. Normally this part of the show, I say I like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, but y'all are not showing love today. Let's put it like that. But I do want to thank everybody for showing up. And I'm about to head over to Bernard Riley's. This is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.